Hello, everyone. Welcome to FinanceOlogy 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that, information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session.
The reason why we're doing this right here is that Robin and I, we started our own company called Gifted Generations, and this is going to be maybe an 8 to 10 minute spiel. It's kind of like a motivational thing, talking about finances. We know doing finances is a long haul. There's a lot involved in it. So what I have encountered is a lot of people coming to me doing one-on-one sessions. So what I've come up with is a series of check-in podcasting, kind of like give you the history of things to do, what to avoid, and how to go about saving your finances, and just tell some stories along the way. So this is why we call it check-in, and just talk about things everyone is asking me about. You guys can follow us on our Facebook page at Gifted Gen LLC, and you'll see the starburst with the Gifted Generations. You can follow us on the podcast here that you're on right now. Also, our website is giftedgenerations-llc.com. Don't forget that dash. And Instagram, gift.gen. All right, so let me just start with the first comment. I was talking to a young lady last night. She's on, her name is Michelle Davis, and she made a very interesting quote.
She said, making money is one thing, but knowing what to do with it is a skill.
And I was like, wow, that is so true, because we always say it's not what you make, it's how you manage it. And we all know it does take a skill in order to take care of your finances. Let's talk about what you want to do to start your finances. And first thing you got to do is get serious about it. You got to make that commitment to yourself that you want to change. And start collecting all your information, your income, and all your expenses. You want to put it down and gather it for the first 30 days. All right. Now, once you get the information, you're going to start putting it together. But what I have discovered is that a lot of people don't even know where to even start. You're like, what do you mean collect information? How do you spend your money? We all know how much we make to a penny. If I ask you how much you're going to make, you can say, I make $1,200.14. Your car payment, you know that. House payment, you know that. Would you believe a lot of people don't know what they spend money on outside of that? The water bill, the light bill. Young man asked me, helping out with his finances. He's like, oh, help me with my budget. Okay, let's have a conversation. He says to me, I said to him, well, how much do you make? Told me the number. Told me the car payment. Told me the house payment. How much you pay for water bill? About around, I'm like, wow, you don't know. Okay, give me an average. Well, it's about, that's the first mistake. You don't know where your money's going out. Okay, give me what you get for your light bill. Give me an average, what you think it is. About around, so here I'm hearing a trend. You know what the income is, but you don't have a clue what the outgo is. So you got to start collecting that information, all your receipts for your McDonald's, Bojangles, whatever you do. You want to just put that in one place and start categorizing those things. But you got to know what's going on in your lifestyle. A lot of times we typically just don't know. A lot of times we don't want to know. That is part of the problem. So I always say, don't wait for it. Pay for it. A lot of people just want to wait until they get more money to pay for things when they got it in their account, just not realizing what you have in your account. So you really got to start sitting down and figuring out what you got coming in and what you got going out. Now, so we got to have a strategy. Start collecting your income, start collecting your receipts for your expenses, and then you can start putting out a plan and a strategy to move forward. So remember that. Collect the income information and then get your expenses. Start putting things together. You gotta be able to start somewhere. And that's where you start. If you can't start there, then you always behind the curve or behind the 8 ball. So I always ask a person this right here. What are you supporting? Your vision or the visual? Your vision is where you see yourself as far as your finances, how you paying it forward to your retirement. And we all know retirement is a long haul. It ain't no overnight fix. You got to really sit down and make some decisions. What you're doing now, can you afford to do what you're doing now? That's going to cut off your retirements on the back end. Don't do so much now that you're hurting yourself on the back end. All you're doing is visual. What your buddy is doing, what your friends are doing. I see him doing that, or she's doing that. We're always trying to be like everybody else, but we're forgetting about looking at ourselves. We got to take account of what we're doing for our money. Don't let nobody dig into your pocket. That's your money that you decide what's coming in and what's going out. Family, first one to hit you up. My nephews and my nieces, they know how Uncle Elroy is. They be like, hey, I need something front for you, advice or something. I always say, if you're coming to me for money, I'm going to ask you, what is your plan for you to not to come back to me next week or next month? I can give it to you, but that's not going to help you out. So you got to really, support them by supporting yourself and get those people out of your pocket. Get them out your pocket, people. We all know we got friends all around us, see how you're living, you're doing good. And you want to surround yourself with good people, people who are debt free, people who's moving forward. So I want to make sure we all understand, get the people that's going to support you. You want to have that strong support system. If you're in a situation where you're married or a girlfriend, boyfriend, you really want to understand how you spend your money also. A lot of people, when they're in situations, they just want to just spend, spend, spend. And then on the back of the things, they realize I'm short somewhere. So I always say to people, let's sit down and see your habits. What are you doing from month to month, week to week? And a lot of times when I sit down with people, they realize, they're short before they even know it. They're out there just having a ball. So when we sit down, we make a budget. I call it allowance plan. But we use budget as a typical saying throughout the world. A lot of people don't realize when their bills are actually due. They live by their checkbook of when the bill is posted. And that's part of the problem. If you know the house bill is due the first or the fifth, you know when that car bill is due. But a lot of times they don't know what other things are due. And if you think, hey, my water bill is due on the 15th because you open up your checkbook or your bank account, and this has happened to me. I asked someone, when is this water bill due? The first thing they do, they pull out their phone. They look at when the phone, the water bill or light bill is cleared, and they say the 15th. And I say, yo, dude, that's not when it's due. That's when it's cleared, partner. That's when it's cleared. You got to be aware of when things are due. So it may be cleared on the 15th. It was probably due on the 12th. And what happens if you think that bill is due a different time? What's going to happen? Overdraft fees. Look, I might to open me a bank and have y'all come to my bank because I can get paid and get paid plenty of money just by overdraft fees alone. The bank, they make billions of dollars through overdraft fees. Why? Because we're just not managing our situation. So we have to really sit down every time we make a decision to manage our situation. Don't let the money manage you. You got to manage the money. I'm very proud of where we go to church. Our pastor, he always talks about entrepreneurship and just want to make sure you're doing the right thing by your decisions and you really pulls into our spiritual well-being of making the right decisions financially. And you have to start with yourself first. You have to be comfortable with your situation. But a lot of times we don't want to sit down and look at our situation because we are fearful of what we may discover. But discovery is something that's good for you and can be great for you because that means you're going to make a shift to something better. But you have to start. You can't delay that situation. I always tell people, if the life you're living right now, if you want to live that same way when you're in retirement, don't make no change. Keep living the way you're living. But if you're saying, I want to have a beach house, I want to, travel a lot, and you're looking at is what I'm doing right now going to give me to the lifestyle. And if it's not financially going to support you, you got to start thinking about making changes now because retirement is a marathon and a sprint. We get into debt so quickly, we forget it's going to take a lot of time to get out of it. It ain't a quick fix. So you may get into it, but you can also get out of it. But you got to be willing to put forth the effort. And that's where we have to start looking at ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, you did this to yourself. Now, hey, you got to get yourself out of this right here. Find you an accountability partner. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be people's accountability partner. I'm going to just come on 7 to 8 minutes. I don't know how long they've been on right now. My wife's gonna probably tell me, beep, time is up. I'm just coming on right now and just say, hey, I'm here for you. I'm going to shoot things at you and just talk about certain things like, do you really want to buy those shoes? Do you need them shoes? Oh, you get you a fourth car? Well, you didn't pay for the first two. Didn't that car get repoed last month? What are you doing with this money? Come on, man. Let's be real with yourself. Decisions. We got to start making smart decisions. You got to have an accountability partner. You got to know what's going on. You know, I know Dan T is listening right now. Dan T Austin, him and his wife living a debt-free life. Young man. And I look at them because I see how they did things. Those kind of people you're going to get around in your circle, so you can glean from them, and you also can figure out, talk to them as far as how they did things. A lot of times, we as people, we don't want to hear from somebody that's doing well. Like, they don't know what they're doing. But yeah, that's the one that's debt free. Yes, that's the one you do need to talk to. And if someone who's doing bad, you feel like, well, they're doing bad, but I'm doing a little better than that person. So yeah, I want this person around me so I can feel good. Listen, feeling good does not pay the bills. A strategy does. So this is what we're here for. This is what I want to do. Just come up with some topics, and maybe have a few people call in, and we can have a, heart-to-heart discussion. Hit the call-in button, and we can just talk about a few things, and tell me how you feel about things. We can just talk about things if you're open to it. We a lot of times we're not open to letting people know a situation. But look, if somebody can help me out, I'm gonna let them help me out. Now, by no means am I certified. This is how I look at things. This is how I do things. And I've been extremely successful, extremely helpful as far as being able to help people along the line. And what I always do, I don't tell them what they need to do. I advise them. I let them come to their own decisions. And sometimes they stumble. And sometimes it takes a few weeks or a few months to get it right. But once you get it right and they get it, it's like a snowball. It just grows and grows and grows. And I had a few people that took 6 months to get on the plan. They come back next month. I was like, well, there's the plan. And until you decide to do better, you're going to continue to struggle. So I can put a plan before you, but it's just a plan. Until you activate it, it's just sitting there. So don't put things on paper and don't do anything with it. You're going to have to say, this is my plan. I'm going to put forth the effort. I'm going to put in the work. And I'm going to do this thing. So I'm going to be talking to you from week to week. This is your boy O. Get some skills, pay the bills. If you want to email me some questions or email me something to talk about, our email address is giftedgenerations@giftedgenerationsllc.com.
Roy, don't hang up. Dan T is trying to call in.
All right, that's Dan T is the man. Now, him and his wife, they have done incredible things. They actually run our church, RNCC, FLE, financial class, living experience class, and they do a great job. Dan T has actually, with the class that Robert and I attend also, I think the last session that we helped people to get rid of $350,000 in debt just from having a strategy. In less than a year. My thing is I want to have a party for credit card cutting up. We're going to just pray over that thing and say we're going to put this thing to rest because we have to have a strategy. We have to be willing to do the right thing. Them kids, we're going to have some millennials on to talk about how they look at debt because, the older generation look at things differently than the younger generation. And we can learn from them as well as they can learn from us. Don't think because, they're so young, they're not smart, intelligent. There's some smart young people out there, and you just can't pass them by. They doing a whole lot better than some of us. So the thing is, let's just get on this train. Let's ride together, and let's not wreck this train. So when you feeling bad and blue one day, and you're like you finna do something bad, pull up the podcast. We're gonna give them certain names. I might call it, don't buy them shoes. Hey, don't go on that vacation. Those kind of things. And we know COVID-19 is around. Oh, I really want to talk about this real quick. COVID-19, we're going to be coming out of this thing pretty soon. So what are you doing to prepare for your future when it comes to your COVID-free? Everybody wants to travel at one time. Everybody wants to do certain things. But when you have the finances to do those things, You should have been saving back in March. Now, I know there's some situations, not everyone, they were able to make money and they might have been laid off and cut back. But I'm saying, if you in a situation where you are like still working and you still employed and you can get those government checks, I'm saying put those things away. So when COVID is over or it's time for us to travel, you have a plan in place. Do not say, I'm gonna go to Florida, Miami in March, and come March, you got a penny in your pocket. You start putting out credit cards. That is not how we're gonna live, y'all. We are not trying to do that. We ain't trying to live through no credit cards. Some things cost. And here's what we do with credit cards typically. You spend a little bit more. Okay. Now $25 went to $30. Well, you know what? It's only $5 more. I can pay for that. You're not looking at that bottom line number. You're only looking at what you pay per month, and that is a major mistake. And then sooner or later, $35 went to 40, 40 to 45, 45, 50. It does that because you're only looking at what you're paying out per month. You're not looking at what you owe. And we got to stop living like that. And then next year, you know, you got $6,000 credit card, $280 a month. That's half a car payment, something.
So we got to stop living like that. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Start a new lease to life and living right, financially free. So in the meantime, try and follow us next week when we do this again at 7 o'clock for 7 whole minutes. But in the meantime, you can follow us on our Instagram post at gift.gen. Follow us on Facebook at Gifted Gen LLC. We're also on YouTube. Just type in Gifted Generation LLC and you will find us. And of course, you can always head out to our website at giftedgenerations-llc.com. Oh, and don't forget to dash. So check out your boy Elroy next week because I got the skills to pay those bills.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, FinanceOlogy 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.